Arzu Hanım, welcome. Tell us about your work.
I'm heading the Tax and Legal Services Department at EY. It's a big four audit company. There are four large audit companies in the world, and EY is one of them. We opened our office in 1994. This year we're actually celebrating 30 years in Azerbaijan, so it's a big year for us, and this is where I work.
How to raise children to be kind and not indifferent to others?
You lead by example. Well, I have 3 children. I know a lot of children. Children are definitely the most innocent human beings on the planet. I mean, I'm not talking about animals, of course, yeah, but if we're talking about human beings, children are obviously the most innocent ones. And they become cruel only because they see cruelty. That's my opinion. So to make sure that your children are not cruel, you have to be kind, first of all, towards your children, and you have to be kind towards, people around you. They need to see their parents being kind, not cruel, and that's how you raise them. That's how you raise them properly.
You actively support social initiatives and charity. What's your top priority area?
Helping kids when they are in need, when they have serious medical issues, and when their families cannot afford, treating their kids. And I think that's probably one of the saddest things, nowadays in the modern world. Unfortunately, some of the treatments are so expensive that majority of parents cannot afford treating their kids. And that's probably the worst feeling that any parent can have in their life. Seeing a child in pain, thinking that their child can be gone, and at the same knowing that there is a cure, and understanding that there is nothing that this particular parent can do about it. So that's why, to me, personally, biggest part of the charity is helping kids with medical problems.
What is the most memorable charity case in your memory?
That's a very touching point, frankly speaking, and I have the most memorable story, but it is quite sad. It has a sad ending, so that's why I would not want to talk about it. But I can talk about one successful case, which for me is rather easy to talk about. There was a small kid a boy who had leukemia, and they flew to Belarus to get the treatment, because Belarus is one of the few countries in the world where leukemia is treated, almost with 100% success rate. And it's because they have an extensive experience in treating cancer among children. After Chernobyl incident, they've had so many cases that they probably are one of the most experienced doctors in the world treating cancer among children. So we helped raise funds for this kid. He was treated successfully. He is now a big boy. Occasionally I see his pictures on Facebook, and of course that makes me very happy that together we were all able to help this kid survive.
How particularly did you help that kid? How generally are you engaged in charity activities?
Yeah, when you want to help anyone, you have to think about different ways to do it. So it's not only one route. And the most important additional factor is that you don't have a lot of time. It's distribution of information about the kid. It's making sure that, a lot of my friends are sharing the information. It's attracting different companies that are willing to help as well. It's organizing certain events. I'm not there to raise funds. I'm there to help the family itself to raise funds. I don't like cases where people from outside, all of a sudden, without having a proper organization, without having proper experience, background, knowledge, where all of a sudden they're raising money for anyone. Why would they do it? I would rather advise the family to be educated, in this process, to make sure that they handle the process themselves. So for me, if I see that it's the family who is raising money, and I trust this family, to me it's a genuine case, I would do my best to help this family raise the money. to help with organization of certain events. If we're not talking about the fund, yeah? If we're talking about other cases. So other cases, for me, the key is who is collecting the money, who is organizing everything.
How can we know that we can trust a charity organization, fund, or any charity initiative?
In order to trust a fund, organization, charitable organization, and we can talk about the parents of a kid that needs help, or we can talk about donors, people that want to contribute. Definitely, first step is making sure that this is in fact a registered fund, because there can be a situation where you have the name, you have the social media account, but you're at the same time not registered. So check that. Second, make sure that this company has proper records, proper documentation, proper records of all the funds that they collect, all the sources of income that they have, sources of contribution that they have, and where they're spending it. All of that needs to be transparent. All of that needs to be available to the public. And on top of that, it has to be checked as an ideal rule. In the Western world, that's a must. It has to be checked by a third party, because obviously when you prepare records, there's always a possibility that something is wrong. But if you have records, if you have an involvement of a third party doing the audit of such records, those are the items that make me personally and everybody else believe that this is a genuine fund, and this fund has proper control environment, and money coming into this fund is spent for proper, genuine reasons. So those are the key things to watch out.
What are the tax incentives for corporations supporting charity in Azerbaijan?
Whenever a company is making a charitable contribution, but it has to be, of course, a proper contribution. It has to be, within certain requirements, within certain legal requirements. And if you make that contribution, income of a taxpayer which makes that contributions can be exempt from tax up to 15% of the profit of such taxpayer. So maybe it's a little bit complicated in terms of the technical tax terms, but as a bottom line, we can say finally there are tax incentives. So companies, taxpayers that make charitable contributions, they can also benefit from the tax incentives as a result of making those contributions.
How to inspire the business community to get more involved in social responsibility initiatives?
Today's Azerbaijan society is definitely more demanding than it was 10 years ago. And one of such demands is also giving back to the society. So I think as the time passes, we'll have more and more companies willing to be engaged in charitable activities. So if you make money in this society, you have to give back. And that's the society who will be driving it. So what is being done in the West is not because, people there are kinder than they are in Azerbaijan. Simply, they are at that stage of the development where they have to do it. And we will also reach to that point where our businesses are also, in addition to what they want to do, but they will be also forced by the society.
What are your main suggestions for women?
Never give up on yourself. You should not be restricted by anyone or anything other than, yourself, if you want to restrict yourself. But nobody should be influencing you. That's my general perception of how smart, capable girls should live, should act, and they should continuously work to improve their knowledge in the profession that they're choosing. They should be able to balance their life, their family life, their professional life. I also tend to believe, based on my personal experience, that their children would be also respecting them if they work, if they develop themselves, if they have a certain role in the society, if they're able to realize themselves. So that's key to their children as well. And their children will have best examples in front of their mothers who were able to succeed, who were able to achieve something. And even if they're not at the top of their career, the fact that they're active, the fact that they're part of the society, the fact that they are professionals in a certain field, that means a lot. So that's my recommendation to girls.
What is your main wish for the Nargis Fund?
My wish to the foundation is, first of all, to be able to attract more donors, more contributors, to be able to spread their wings outside Azerbaijan as well, because I'm sure that with the capabilities of the team of Nargis Fund, with all the positive activities and positive results that they've had, maybe they should go outside the country as well. They should be known, I think, by everyone in the country for the activities that they perform.
What does happiness mean to you?
Happiness to me is feeling harmony within yourself. So if you have harmony in yourself, you are happy. Money doesn't make you happy. Career doesn't make you happy. The fact how you feel about yourself, that makes you happy.